going to give you 2 Earth minutes.
Curtis is in Year 4 at Yarm Primary. He has autism. When Curtis first started at Yarm, his autism meant that he was easily distracted and found it difficult to understand instructions and difficult to relate to other pupils and teachers. Working closely with Curtis's parents and a specialist teacher on autistic spectrum disorders, the school established a range of strategies to support Curtis.
We used a visual timetable using picture symbols, but also including the written word as well. This gave him an idea of what was happening through the school day, reduced opportunities for anxiety, which was a big part of Curtis's behaviour in his early years. He found lots of situations very anxiety provoking, and that then led to what could be considered challenging types of behaviour. We also used a workstation, which is an inclusive type of area. The children use it as well. In the early years particularly, there's a lot of noise, a lot of movement, which did cause problems for Curtis, so that did cut down on the distractibility and also meant that he could focus on specific tasks he found difficult. It wasn't used all of the time, but for instance, in his early years he found numeracy particularly difficult, so really the workstation was used to focus on numeracy. We also used social skills programmes with Curtis as well, which was done in small group, so that it also developed his peer relationships as well as helping him to understand other people's social skills. We have used social stories with Curtis as well, which is a method of helping a child with autism or any type of learning need to understand a social situation through the written word.
In class, Curtis also has the use of a laptop and a talking computer for literacy. Because of the success of many individual strategies in previous years, this year his teacher Jill is mainly using a range of whole class adjustments which have proven successful for Curtis and other children on the autistic spectrum.
So it's not that I make special dispensation that I bring a dog in for Curtis to refer to. That's something I would do anyway. But Curtis would be the child who would make the kennel for the dog, as it were. So really, the special bit comes from just a little tweak of general classroom practice.
2 things that have benefited Curtis significantly are the school-wide introduction and consistent application of golden rules, and within his class, the introduction of 1 hour every week as circle time. Here, Curtis's comments have surprised both his peers and his teachers.
They're much more astute sometimes that you give him credit for, and so that's been a lesson for us. The other children have seen him in a different way, and they also realise that, well, actually I might have this problem and Curtis gave me a possible solution, which is something I think they would never have considered in the past. Another thing that I think has benefited Curtis is making all the links. So today we've worked, our artwork, our ICT, our thinking skills, our numeracy and literacy has all been about Bercelet, who was King Arthur's dog, allegedly. And that links to something, a Michael Morpurgo book that we've been running through the year with. You can just link back all the time. So that's another thing I think that obviously benefits everybody, but is really important for children such as Curtis, who needs that reinforcement without it being too repetitive.
The time tasks in this thinking skills session are another whole school initiative which particularly support Curtis.
His self-esteem has risen tremendously. He doesn't feel that things stop him. He might say now, I've forgotten, but he will try and think of a way that he can remember. We practice getting unstuck, and we talk about these skills, and because we talk about them all the time, and it's consistent, then Curtis does pick up things and he can use them.
In addition to working with parents and staff training on autistic spectrum disorders, what classroom strategies does Sarah recommend?
Consistency, trying to ensure that the sort of strategies which have been successful are carried through to the next year group or to the next member of staff that works with that child. I think one of the key things which teachers don't always realise but is very important is to keep your language concise, keep to keywords, keep things simple, don't talk in abstracts, chunk together short phrases for the pupil and ensure they've understood what has been said, and that will really maximise how they manage themselves within the classroom setting.